Hi friends, in today's video, I will tell you about daycare. How much does it cost? Are daycare centers safe? Can we claim tax credit for it during the tax season? As an aspiring teacher in the US, knowing these things will help you in making decisions, especially if you are planning to take your young children with you who are not school age yet. You may also have a plan to have kids there. I gave birth to my son in Orlando, Florida in 2019. We sent him to daycare twice when he was 2 years old. Childcare can be very expensive in the US. According to an article in Washington Post, from the day your baby is born until the day they turn 18, your family will spend about $310,605 US dollars or about 17,000 US dollars a year. That's 934,269 Philippine pesos each year. Of course, that's the national average since the cost really varies per state. Also, contrary to what many might be thinking, government assistance on childcare is not automatic just because the child is an American. Most government assistance depends on household income and size. I, for instance, have never had any access to these financial assistance during pregnancy, birth, and after giving birth. If you want to know the salary, expenses, and savings if you work in the US as a teacher on J1 visa, you may watch this video on my YouTube channel, and please hit the subscribe button if you are liking my contents and want to know more. I also have a Facebook page that you can follow. I do Facebook Live every other Saturday where I answer questions right away. All links are in the description below. Alright, so daycare, it's not free, but if you qualify, you may get some financial assistance to help you on this. I will talk about government assistance in a while. A child as young as 6 weeks can be taken to daycare if they offer such service, because it's not true for all daycare centers. You must also know though that they charge more for younger children. For instance, here's the cost in one of the daycare centers I have sent my son to. Infants' fees are always $10 more than the other age groups. As I have mentioned earlier, most of the U.S. government's financial assistance programs related to childcare are not automatic. They are based on different qualifications, primarily household income and size. Here's some of the programs they have again related to childcare. They have Head Start and Early Head Start, state-funded pre-kindergarten or VPK. There are others, but only the citizens are eligible. An example of that is the military child care financial assistance programs. We will talk about tax credit later in this video. We sent Sam to daycare for the first time when he was 2 years old. His pediatrician suggested that he goes to a daycare to help him with his social skills. We searched the internet for daycare centers near our area, made some calls, sent emails. We found this one. They have several branches, and we found one that was close to our area. With an appointment, we went over to the place and toured the facility. It was nice, clean, and safe, so we went ahead and enrolled him there. They were very organized. They gave us a packet that has Sam's age group's daily routine. Potty training is taking place the entire time. The packet also includes the weekly menu. This was the most important for us because Sam has multiple food allergies. The director asked us to cross out the ones that Sam's not supposed to eat so they could have alternatives for him. Of course, they required us to turn in medical records, which also included immunization. I thought I'd show you some of Sam's daycare photos from his first daycare. This was from his first day ever. Photo op is a must, of course. I prepared his outfit for the whole week. We bought him his backpack. They also required 2 sippy cups, one for juices and one for water. He was truly enjoying his stay here at this daycare. He has improved a lot, especially with following schedules and sitting still during meals. Since Sam does not eat so many food items because of his allergies, he was allowed to have his milk which was an amino acid based one. They have an app that parents could download. That's where I got these photos, by the way, since parents were not allowed to stay. They were still being careful with having so many people in there because of COVID-19. This was in 2021, by the way. My husband takes Sam to daycare at 7 in the morning and picks him up at 11. So how much was the cost? I kind of already showed it earlier, but here it is again, specifically for Sam's age range. His group is called Bumblebee. His weekly tuition for half day each day was $190. This was to be paid at the start of each week. This was fixed regardless if the child was absent for a day or more. There's a one-time registration fee of $100. The annual curriculum fee was also $100. The uniform was $18, but it's optional. When we went there to register Sam, they had a stack of used uniforms donated by parents, and they were for free, and so we took one for Sam. Meals were already included in the fee. Since Sam has his own milk, we turned in a can of milk that they could prepare for Sam. We just put extra clothes, diapers, and extra snack for him in his backpack. So monthly, the daycare cost was $760, or that's 41,871.82 Philippine pesos. To give you a perspective, our share in the rent, since we have housemates, was $620. So Sam's daycare monthly cost was more than our rent. So definitely consider this when you move to the US. Like I said in one of my videos, you should consider having housemate to help reduce your monthly expenditures. So if you are planning to work in the US as a teacher or whatever else, it is really important to get a complete picture of what it's like working there and living in the US. So please check out all of my other videos in my YouTube channel. You can watch those after this, so please subscribe if you have not done so already. So that was the first daycare for Sam. He only went there for 3 weeks because we just wanted him to try it out. This was in April of 2021. Around June, my husband got accepted into an electrician apprenticeship work, but it was from 8 in the morning to 4 p.m. This means that Sam has to go to daycare again, but this time it has to be somewhere near my husband's work, which was in another city right outside of Orlando. Also, this time Sam had to stay there for the whole day. These were some of his photos at his second daycare. We really felt bad for him since he had to wake up really early in the morning and then he had to stay there for the whole day basically. The photos showed he was not enjoying it much there because he's exhausted obviously. He also caught stomach bugs, so we brought him to the hospital twice. We learned that the other kids got sick too. That was why we decided to invite my in-laws to Orlando for the second time, so that Sam did not have to go to daycare. That's what we did, and we were all happy for Sam. Sam was happier and safer that way too. So while my husband and I were at work, Sam was with his grandparents. The second daycare was subsidized by the government, so it was not as expensive. So here's the cost. One-time registration fee of $50, weekly tuition of $154, that's for a whole day each day, uniform shirt which was required at $13. They have the same rule with a weekly payment as the first daycare. It has to be paid every Monday of the week and must be paid in full regardless of the child's absences. Also, if the child was not picked up on time, there was an additional fee every 15 minutes. I forgot how much it was. So for the second daycare, the monthly cost was lower at $616, or that's 33,959.92 Philippine pesos. Still, this was almost equivalent to our monthly rent. So now let's go over safety issues concerning daycare. Should you worry leaving your child in daycare centers in the US? Well, of course, as much as possible, we don't want to leave our kids under somebody else's care, but sometimes we really do not have a choice but to do that. I think that culturally Filipino parents may have difficulty leaving their kids at daycare, especially at very young age. because we are not used to it, and because also in the Philippines we have our families to support us and we didn't even have to pay them. But you can also think of it as being a good thing to have, especially for single parents who are working and who did not have any family support like we usually have in the Philippines. Generally, the daycare system and policies in the US are more established and reliable than they are in the Philippines. So there's nothing we should worry about, although I must say that obviously things really happen even at our home. Accidents could happen, and there are some people also who are not doing their job correctly. So we have to keep in mind that those things could happen, or bad news that we would see on TV or online. So you also have to consider that as part of reality. So in the US, daycare centers must be accredited and licensed in order for them to operate. There's some institutions that are overseeing these things, accreditation and licensing, but the licensing requirements vary from one state to another. Each state has an agency that issues childcare licenses, and they are responsible for inspecting the programs to make sure licensing standards are met. Licensed programs are inspected regularly to make sure they are complying with regulations. Now let's go over the tax credit related to childcare expenses. First of all, let me clarify that a tax credit is not tax refund. A deduction can only lower your taxable income and the tax rate that is used to calculate your tax. This can result in a larger refund of your withholding. A credit reduces your tax, giving you a larger refund of your withholding, but certain tax credits can give you a refund even if you have no withholding. For your 2021 tax return, the cap on the expenses eligible for the credit is $8,000 for one child, or $16,000 for two or more. Additionally, you may be able to write off up to 50% of those expenses depending on your income. This means you potentially could get a maximum credit of $4,000 for one child and $8,000 for two or more. Obviously, these numbers may change next year, as it does yearly for the most part. Alright, I hope you learned important things in this video that will help you with getting a picture of living and working in the US, especially if you're coming with your family. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!